I rise to talk about the passage that we're going to be voting on of the FAA authorization, and I thank the Senator for being here and talking about aviation in general and aviation manufacturing. He comes from a strong aviation manufacturing state, and so I certainly support many of the things that he said. I certainly support making sure that we continue to streamline our process, and it is one of the things left out in this legislation, so we need to do more on that effort, and certainly don't want people demonizing any aspect of aviation, because they're all aviation jobs and people don't realize how many aviation jobs we have in the United States of America, and the fact that we are still the top when it comes to aviation manufacturing jobs, and it shouldn't be a sector that we relent on. So we have a lot of work to do. I would add to that list, though, the passage of the Export-Import Bank board members, so the Export-Import Bank could be functioning, so that we could actually approve aviation sales when we get them done. And this is for smaller aircraft or larger aircraft. It doesn't matter, but if we build the best product, we ought to be able to sell the best product around the globe, and we're still stuck on getting that nominee out of committee because of someone holding it up, and the fact that they're holding it up means that we'll go many, many more months without completing airplane sales. So, Mr. President, I want to talk about some other provisions that we are passing today. So I'm proud to have worked with the chairman of the committee, who I just saw pass here on the floor. I'm sure he's going to speak in a moment, and the ranking member on very important aspects of aviation security. First of all, we are doubling the number of terrorist deterrent teams at U.S. airports and ground transportation. Now, these TSA inspector teams, as you can see, are people who are very involved in making sure that we enhance security at our airports. And this is a very important aspect of this legislation, because we saw these tragic events in Brussels and Istanbul, and we saw that terrorists can attack us not just on an airplane or inside the security perimeter, but outside. And so I think this legislation, thanks to Chairman Thune and Ranking Member Nelson, are giving us the workforce that we need to enhance the use of bomb-sniffing dogs, strengthen the perimeter security, expand training, respond to active shooter attacks, and to make sure that the outer limits of our airport are also secure. So I'm proud that many of these provisions that we passed out of the Commerce Committee are contained in this legislation, and that it is doubling the number of these TSA Viper teams that conduct controls and make sure that our passengers are secure. These teams consist of a combination of law enforcement, inspectors, explosive specialists, and, as I mentioned, the bomb-sniffing dogs, which what's so important about those dogs is that they are one of our best deterrents to picking up explosive material and tracking down people, and this is what we need to have at our airports. So I want to thank, again, the Chairman Thune and Ranking Member Nelson for putting this in. By combining these law enforcement and bomb-detecting canines and capabilities, it is providing another layer of security at our airports. We've seen at SeaTac the use of dogs helping us expedite our security lanes at SeaTac, the busiest airport now in the country as far as increase in volume. And we need to have more of these dogs outside on the perimeter as well. So this will give us a visible deterrent and help us in protecting the much-needed continuation of air transportation travel. I also want to mention a couple of other things that are in this legislation. The checkpoint of the future and making sure that we are streamlining our security checkpoints. We've been proud to work with the Pacific Northwest Labs in Richland, Washington, where critical work is underway in detecting technologies that is making new detections. And this legislation contains the extension of an important aviation safety item. 136 airports across the country have automated weather equipment, but they need weather observers to make these around-the-clock observations. So at Spokane International Airport, this is a vital tool, and we're so glad that I was able to work with Senator Moran and others in keeping this on. And finally, we addressed the extension of a critical upcoming shortage of air traffic controllers by making improvements to the FAA hiring process and creating a path forward like those at the Green River College in Washington State. So I thank, again, Chairman Thune and Ranking Member Nelson for these inclusions in their work. We obviously have much more work to do to maintain our aviation infrastructure, and we'll look forward to getting those done in the very near future. I thank the President, and I yield the floor.